welcome back. I've got Ian and Andy here. Just back from my short trip away. Great to come back. Been in constant contact with Ian while I'm away, and Andy has as well. He's been on his cruise, so Ian's been getting it left and right, which he'll probably do in a minute now. So let's just go through tonight's game. You know, we all got a nice smile on our face. It's near 3, a very good Chesham side won, and we got what we deserved, didn't we, Ian?
Yeah, definitely. We've been putting some decent effort in for the last few weeks, and we haven't had a lot of luck, and we've been missing good opportunities at sort of bad times in the games, if that makes sense. I mean, you know, we had opportunities against Tottenham in the first 5 or 10 minutes, and we had good chances on Saturday, but we didn't take them, and then we got sprung on both occasions. Whereas tonight we sort of had a couple of set pieces, we had a couple of corners, then we had some good delivery in the box. We put them on the back foot with that good delivery, and then we had a 5 or 10 minute spell where we passed the ball really well, got it into our wide areas. I can't remember. We got the ball back across, and Dan's come in, and we've had a half chance, and we finished this time.
Well, I was just saying to Andy, the first goal was it was all down to Jay. To be honest with you, he'd done a couple of little 1-2s, and then slipped it across, and it came across, and it ended up with Dan, who took the goal really well, didn't he, Andy?
Yeah.
Foot into the corner.
I mean, his work rate to get there in the first place, to get to that position to take the shot, was magnificent. I mean, if he had a magnificent game himself today, I think that he made the difference out wide, him and Louis.
Yeah, and that's always been our case, and you know, we've had these two wingers for a long time, and if you get it wide to those two, they can damage people, and they really can. And you're dead right, they both played well today. And I thought Dan was very vocal and encouraging as a captain as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, what we said to Dan and Louis in the change room before the game was, early season we were scoring goals from all over the park, which was helping us, but just recently we've been playing a little bit deeper, a little bit more conservative, and the goals are drying up, coming from the wide areas, coming from the midfield, you know, we're relying solely on Ben and Craig now. So what we said to him tonight is get a little bit further up the pitch, play a little bit higher, the chances will come. And it was spot on. They played a little bit higher up the pitch. They started to come inside as well, and we got the goal.
But the goal's drying up. It's really it's confidence, isn't it? And you know, we've both been away, and when you're away, you think nothing of football, and you can run things through your mind.
Yeah.
Me myself, I watched all the videos what Adam's done all season. I've been watching all the videos just to have a look, and you know, we're not a bad side at all. We just lacked a bit of confidence. And I was on BBC Radio tonight, and Andy Abbott asked me, Chris Mann asked me on drive time. He said, you know, you've won 1 in 12. Are you worried? I said, no. Why should we be worried? You know, this is a club that's developing on the field, off the field, and within the players on the field. That's why, you know, we've had quite a few changes lately, and you know, we're making it better. And tonight, you know, I think apart from Gav, I think Gav and Searsy were the oldest. They're kids, most of them, weren't they?
Yeah, they're kids to a certain degree, but they've got their heads on their shoulders. They've been around. You know, they're still coachable. That's what we're after. Yeah. Young, coachable players. We've said that right from the off. Like, that's the only reason I come in with Pari in the first place, because he said his philosophy, and it works for me as well. And they're taking on board. I mean, I know we haven't spoke about the Redditch game, but we gave Ryan Auger certain things to do, and he done them to the letter.
That's because he's been taught.
Because that's that's the environment he's still in at Southend.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and we was a little bit worried tonight, maybe making the change, because he has got a reserve team going for Southend in the morning, and it's quite important for him because it's up for his pro contract time, so he needs to be in there short window. But what a magnificent
Geordie,
absolutely.
He's another kid. We talk about them play. He's come over to the bench. We've given some information to do, because he was getting a little bit narrow at times, and they're leaving their left winger sort of space.
Because their left back was good as well.
Yeah, and the fullback's got on really well. But I've just asked him to just be mindful of the space he leaves behind, check his shoulder, look, and again, because he's come from that environment, he was aware straight away, and then he's come over, which is massive tick for any sort of buddy.
It's one thing,
and he's asked the question why. You know,
having a young team, young players, but all due respect to players who haven't been at pro clubs and been taught the right way. If you get players who've been taught how to play football, they can take on your instructions. Yeah. And what's the point of having good qualified coaches, which you two are, if the players are not going to take on the instructions? And this can only get better as we move forward, because they're listening, and you can see where they're listening. The same with young James Sage at the left back.
Yeah, he was magnificent tonight. If you take into account his kids, he's come out of sort of an environment it's quite routine, isn't it? Like at a club, and they play the same way through their ranks, and he steps in, and he's had his first game away at Tottenham, and he's not Tottenham. He's had his first game away at where do we were last? Hitchin, sorry.
Hitchin.
He played at Hitchin first game on a pitch that was falling all over. Saturday he's been down at Redditch, which is, I'll go on record to say, one of the worst pitches I've ever seen at this standard of football. And then he's come here tonight, but in all 3 games he's given us the same thing.
Yeah.
But tonight he's just had an opportunity to do it on the
very
pitch.
composed and authoritative. Lots of self-confidence.
He enjoyed it tonight.
He looked really good.
He stands up. He don't dive in. He's patient, and I think that's the key. That you've got to be patient, especially when you're playing a fullback. If you dive in, you go to ground, you're out of the game. And he does the basics properly.
Very well, yeah.
Let's talk about, and I think probably, certainly Adam and I agree, and I think you two will agree about, a guy who's come in here under a bit of pressure, hasn't really come up to the standards. I've certainly watched him play, not him. He's come up to the standards on his tweets from the boat and costing loads of money, but still. Let's talk about Gavin Hoyt tonight, as I thought he was quite outstanding.
Last few games, Gavin has just been magnificent. There was one game which I hold my hands up where I wanted to look at an original pairing as centre halves and played Jordan and Arthur together. I spoke to Gav after. He was really disappointed, but not really in a positive way. And he come back and again tonight. I mean, he made one half error on Saturday and we got punished, and that hurt the guy.
It did, yeah.
And he made that clear to everyone in the change rooms.
Yeah, and he put it out public as well.
Yeah, and he's held his hand up, and every time he's had a smallest issue, he's come into the office and he's sat down. He wants to talk about why and what he can do, and he's open to improvement. He's a great sort of leader for young Arthur and Geordie. And tonight I was pleased he scored as well, because he deserved all that. Yeah,
and he played well, and I thought the defence looked quite solid tonight. We didn't really give him too many opportunities.
No,
I can't really remember any of those.
Had a few half chances.
And then they got their goal by one of these, which a lot of teams do, especially against us, unfortunately. Whack it in from a corner, it bobbles about, and they're the lucky ones to stick a foot on it and smack it. And you get connection.
The pleasing thing for me on these sort of things now, we spoke about it, is we used to almost accept set pieces and corners that we were going to get undone, but at the moment, because we've been focusing on that a little bit lately, we are sort of starting to get the ump with each other if we let players run off us, or if we concede cheap corners. You can see it in them, and we spoke about free kicks the last few weeks, and of course, stop giving silly free kicks away. Today I think we gave away 2 or 3 free kicks in the entire half.
Yeah.
And there must be some kind of relation with that, with the amount of possession we kept and the way we played. And then the second half, when we got a bit scrappy, we were giving silly free kicks away.
We were closing down the second ball, closing down their players when they had possession. Sometimes we had to play deep, didn't we? But we actually got behind each other and we worked hard.
It was proper counter-attack tonight.
I think what we're doing as well at the moment is we're keeping retention of the ball a lot better than we have done previously. I know I've been away, but we're back to our basic best, and that becomes because we're working hard. And when we did that at Redditch, we worked really hard, and we're working hard off the ball. And when we win it back, we're working hard to keep possession. We're popping up in little holes, we're popping up in little spaces.
Absolutely.
And all of a sudden, we're keeping the ball, and then that's when we exploit the space in behind. And I think that's the way forward for us. We're always going to be a counter-attack inside, because we've got flair going forward. But all of a sudden, we've now got stability
behind.
What
we added tonight, we added the most basic element, which is work rate.
Yeah.
And then the second element, which we've always spoke about, is ball retention.
Yeah.
And then we used our width. And you're absolutely right. We had a lot of the ball tonight. And it's the old saying: if the other side ain't got the ball, they can't play.
Exactly.
And it does tire them out. And I thought they actually got a little bit tired.
We had good opportunities.
They started off well, Chesham. I thought they were quite good when they started off.
They did do, but we've got to take the real positives from our defending.
Absolutely.
We've been a little bit slack on picking up our man, but we're actually getting tighter now to our man from corners and set pieces. We're actually going man to man and picking up, and it's creating the other team more of a problem to solve, to get through, get beyond us and nick goals. I think we've done that tonight magnificently. We've actually got there, got tight, not let our man run off us. We've actually got there, defended it, and we've followed runners definitely tonight.
Well, that's good. We're going to move on to Saturday now. We're playing Frome at home. I missed that game as I was away as well, and I remember you two having the after game conversation where I think we beat them 2-1, wasn't it?
Yeah, we did. And we turned it round. Louis popped up, didn't he? He sort of we left him on the bench the first half. And
so we got Frome on Saturday, and I'm glad we got another home game very quickly, because it gives us a chance to build on what we've done tonight.
Yeah, it's a winnable game. We said in there before our little chat before, let's not sort of dwell on the past and what's done.
No, we just go from game to game.
Let's still do game, literally sit down and we'll focus on each game individually now, because I think we've been guilty, a lot of people in and around the building, of looking what could possibly happen.
Well, it must be very frustrating for you two, because when you read out, you get the team sheet and you read the team sheet, you think we've got quality everywhere and we've got good players, and where's the panic? Well, there isn't one, and it's just a matter of maturing this team together and some of the young players together, and have a lot of patience. And our first target, as we've always said, is we get enough points to stay in this division. I just talking to Brian McCarthy there of Chesham, and he feels the same way. And their club's had a lot of stick because they lost in the playoffs last year. But him and Roger, they're the same as us. They want to do it right, take their time, and work on it. And we've beaten a very informed team tonight, haven't we?
Yeah, no, they've had a decent run lately. Yeah.
So that's
we deserve that tonight. So I said to the boys in there, if we were sitting here at the beginning of the season, that would have been just another hard-working, good footballing win. But because we've had a bit of a tough run lately, that everyone's sitting and saying, there's no luck involved in that. That was pure graft.
Yeah, you just took the words out of my mouth, because I was going to say, well, the luck's changed, our luck's changed, and we got a bit of luck. Well, no, our luck hasn't changed, and we haven't had a bit of luck. We've got exactly what we deserve tonight, because we worked very, very hard. Right, okay then, lads, we move on to Saturday. Well done. Win, lose or draw Saturday. We're doing the right things, what we're doing, and let's see what happens Saturday. Cheers.
Brilliant.